Yeah, we're going to start, and then when he reads his letter, he's going to sit down. Before he pulls up.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education pursuant to New Jersey statutes and the rules adopted by the Board of Education. Notice of this meeting was sent to oral community newspapers, the Star Ledger, and Cable Vision of Elizabeth on Monday, January 12, 2015. In addition, this notice is posted on the bulletin board in the lobby of 500 North Broad Street. And pursuant to this act, a copy has been filed with the City Clerk of Elizabeth. I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present and to our television viewers to this January 14, 2015 meeting of the Board of Education. We are here to govern, provide management oversight, and make policy for the district. The superintendent manages the district. This is a meeting of the board in public, not a meeting of the public. This meeting is being recorded and will become part of the Elizabeth Board of Education permanent record. In order that the recording will reflect the proceedings, please refrain from talking while others are speaking. I also ask that you silence the sound of your electronic devices. Since it is legally mandated that these proceedings be accurately recorded, I may have to ask for order periodically should noise begin to interfere with our recording capabilities. I am pleased that you have taken time this evening to join us. Thank you for your interest in Elizabeth Public Schools. There will be a public portion for citizens to address the board. Participants for the public portion must sign in 1 hour prior to the advertised start of the meeting so that they may have the opportunity to speak. The sign-in sheets state the name, address, telephone number, and reason that the person wants to comment, whether it is an agenda item or the general education comment. Mr. Kennedy, please roll call.
Madam President, before I take the roll call, I need to read a letter that I just received today. It's for the record. Addressed to Harold Kennedy, Business Administrator. Dear Mr. Kennedy, this is to advise you that I am hereby withdrawing my resignation from the Board of Education. Very truly yours, Arminio Tony Montero.
Can you please, Mr. Edelstein, will be explained to the community, to the public?
Yes. So, as many people may know from things that they've read in the public press, a lawsuit was filed earlier this week by a citizen, Ms. Galanti, and the lawsuit makes a number of allegations concerning the last 2 board meetings. But a centerpiece of the lawsuit is the contention that the special meeting of January 6, 2015 was improper, and that everything that took place at that meeting is legally invalid and null and void. And the lawsuit asks the court to declare that the actions taken at that meeting are null and void. The lawsuit is very well prepared by a very reputable law firm and very reputable lawyers. What the basic contention is, in the first instance, is that there was a flaw in the way that the public notice was given for that meeting, and it then goes on to discuss events that occurred at the meeting. There's another aspect of the lawsuit that has to do with some events at the organization meeting as well. I was directed to prepare a response to that lawsuit. I did so, and it was filed earlier today and served on council. What the court's decisions teach us when we represent public bodies is that when a claim is made that there has been an Open Public Meetings Act violation, the public body should, in the first instance, evaluate whether there is a way to eliminate the controversy, whether there's a way to obviate the problem. In fact, there's a body of law that suggests that that's something a judge might ask a public body to do, even if there were a determination that there was a problem. In this instance, I spoke as the attorney handling the litigation with the board president, with Mr. Lehman, with Mr. Fajardo, and with Mr. Montero. And the essential key allegation of the complaint as it relates to Mr. Montero appears in paragraph 4. It says, at the January 6th meeting, the board accepted Mr. Montero's resignation, thus creating a vacancy on the board. And then it goes on to complain about the way the vacancy was filled. After discussing this fully with the three gentlemen, and with Ms. Amin, the board president, it was concluded by Mr. Montero, Mr. Fajardo, Ms. Amin, that this was a divisive issue that was not worth fighting about, and that the board would concede that the actions at the meeting were null and void. Where does that leave us? So, as the complaint alleged, the board accepted Mr. Montero's resignation, thus creating a vacancy. If that action is null and void, as if it never occurred, there is not yet a vacancy. Mr. Montero has now withdrawn his resignation, and he resumes his seat for the remainder of his term. I don't know if he's, oh, here he is. That means, of course, that the appointment of Mr. Fajardo to fill that vacancy is also null and void. If there is no vacancy, there was no seat to fill. So that is how we find ourselves with Mr. Montero sitting to my right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Eldestein.
Madam President?
Yes.
Thank you. May I direct some of my comments to...
Yes.
Thank you. So, let me get this right. Mr. Montero had resigned before the January 6th meeting, is that correct?
Are you directing the question to me?
Yes.
I wasn't at the January 6th meeting, but
Okay.
the resignation was apparently communicated before that meeting, but was accepted by the board at that meeting.
Mr. Kennedy, did you receive Mr. Montero's resignation before the January 6th meeting?
The afternoon of that meeting, he spoke with Mr. Lehman and myself and indicated that he wished to resign it and have the board accept it at that night's meeting.
Okay. Since Mr. Montero is not an employee of the Board of Education, do we have to accept his resignation for it to be binding?
If you're asking me that question,
Yes.
I believe the answer is yes, but you don't have to accept my word for it. The allegation in the verified complaint that I just read you, filed by Mr. Clark of the Dakotas firm, alleges that the acceptance of the resignation creates the vacancy, and I believe that's correct.
But since he's not an employee, since he's not an employee, we don't actually have to accept his resignation for it to be binding?
He can withdraw the resignation up until the time that it's accepted.
But since he's not an employee, how can, as a Board of Education, we wouldn't have to...
You've asked for my opinion. I've given it to you. I'd prefer not to argue with you about it.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Kennedy, please roll call.
May I speak?
Should I take the roll call, Madam President?
Yes, please.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Bathlis,
Here.
Carvalho,
I'm here.
Castillo,
Here.
Montero,
Yes, here.
Neron.
Here.
Pereira.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
Trujillo.
Here.
Amin.
Here. Mr. Green,
May I
can you-
speak now, please, Madam President?
Yes, you can.
Thank you, Madam President. Does Mr. Montero have to get re-sworn in?
He does not. He's simply continuing the term for which he was sworn. He's not starting a new term.
Since I'm new at this, will I be privy to receive a copy of the letter that he submitted to the board?
Sure. You mean the letter that Mr. Kennedy just read?
Yes,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Mr. Green, can you lead the innovation, please?
Let us stand. Oh God, our Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us together tonight, oh God. We thank you for this day that you've given us, and we pray that your presence will be here with us tonight as we deliberate on important things for our children. Now, oh God, bless us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Now we have the presentation of the colors, Admiral William F. Halsey, Junior Leadership Academy, JROTC. Please, Commissioner Trujillo, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
With pleasure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, a Star-Spangled Banner by Francis Scott Key.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Superintendent Hugo Meyer, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Ethics?
With pleasure, thank you. As a member of the Elizabeth Public Schools professional learning community, I will treat people as I wish to be treated. To do that, I pledge to understand that the school community is a special place, listen respectfully when someone else is speaking by paying close attention and not interrupting, speak in a calm voice and use proper language, dress appropriately for teaching and learning, inspire the best of myself and others by celebrating successes and learning from mistakes, care about others by demonstrating acts of kindness, be a lifelong learner by taking every opportunity to learn from others.
Please be seated and watch our core belief video.
Equity is a fundamental requirement for educational excellence and high expectations for student achievement. We believe all students can learn and achieve at high levels, regardless of race, ethnicity, culture, neighborhood, household income, or home language. All means all. We will narrow the achievement gaps of students by providing a high-quality education to ensure that all of our students are college and career ready.
Not forgetting of the importance of maintaining our commitment to helping every child achieve excellence. Helping every child achieve excellence.
We believe teachers make a positive difference in student achievement. Teachers will prepare all students for success in college, career, and our technological global society. We believe that teachers are essential in a child's life. Having an effective teacher is the single most important factor in student success. We believe that effective leaders demonstrate unwavering commitment to high levels of achievement for all students.
But wherever you go, whatever you decide to do, take advantage, be the yes, seize the opportunity. When you do that, make sure when you stand on this podium 50 years from now, you can say, I took advantage of every opportunity they gave me because I was the yes.
Leaders will exemplify and support practices that promote high levels of achievement for all students.
Dream often, dream big, and let your dreams be determined by your choices and never by your circumstances, and never, ever, ever give up. Congratulations and continued success to all of you.
We believe that parents and caregivers are both valued partners and active participants in their children's learning. A shared sense of mutual responsibility for learning is the foundation for family involvement to ensure student success. We are committed to engaging parents and caregivers in their children's education. We will develop a coordinated strategy that enables parents and caregivers to play an active role in building and sustaining family support for their children's learning and academic success. We believe that every member of the Elizabeth Public Schools team has a responsibility in producing and supporting high levels of achievement for all students. Every member of the Elizabeth Public Schools team will make a measurable contribution to the success and achievement for all students by ensuring equitable distribution of resources throughout the organization.
I recognize Mr. Trujillo for a resolution.
Thank you, Madam President. Mr. Kennedy, if you may, please do me the favor of handing out the resolution that I intend to propose. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Madam President, be it resolved as follows. 1, the election of officers at the organization meeting of January 7, 2015 is hereby ratified and affirmed. And 2, item 7, resolutions 2 through 10 of the original unamended organizational meeting agenda are hereby approved. And 3, any action taken at the organization meeting which is inconsistent with this resolution is hereby rescinded, effective immediately. Number 4, the appointment of Robert Varity, Esquire, as General Counsel, which took place without the recommendation of the Superintendent, is hereby rescinded, effective immediately. Be it further resolved that all actions taken by the Board of Education at its meeting of January 6, 2015 are hereby ratified and affirmed, except for the acceptance of the resignation of Mr. Montero and appointment of Mr. Fajardo, which are not ratified and reaffirmed and are now moot. I move this resolution.
Second. Resolution moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Castillo. Any comments? Roll call, please, Mr. Kennedy.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Bathalis.
No.
Carvalho.
No.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Mr. Kennedy, I'm going to vote in the affirmative yes, and I want on two abstentions. It's on the auditor and on the insurance consultant.
Naran.
No.
Pereira. Yes. Rodriguez.
No.
Amin.
Yes.
Madam President? Thank you, Madam President. I know with all this back and forth and things that are happening, the first thing I just want to say is Mr. Edelstein our board attorney? I'm sorry, is Mr. Edelstein our general counsel at the moment?
No. The reason that I was asked to sit here...
The question was to Madam President.
Thank you. The reason I was asked to sit here is because I'm representing the board in a piece of litigation that affected the organization of the board, and it was apparent to the president that an explanation for some actions would be needed.
Okay, so at this point, no offense personally to you, but I believe that you shouldn't be sitting at the dais with us. Is that correct, Madam President?
It's up to you.
Can you answer, Mr. Edelstein?
It's entirely up to the president, Mr. Rodriguez.
Okay, thank you. The other thing, I want to make a motion to, again, like I said, with the things that are going on back and forth, I know that there is a court, I think the judge will be hearing the case in terms of the complaint that Mr. Edelstein alluded to today, and I believe the court case is on Friday. So I think it would be prudent to table the rest of the meeting until a court determines if what we did today was legal, was lawful or not. We all know what happens sometimes when we listen to bad legal advice. I know an ex-member, Mr. Fajardo, had listened, well, at least he had said, he had listened to bad legal advice, as he claims McCarter in English, which actually cost him $63,000 that he has to actually repay the district. So we all know what can happen. We all know what can happen if we don't take our time.
Mr. Rodriguez,
Excuse me, I have the floor. Excuse me, I have the floor, Mr. Montero. You'll have your time. Thank you. So I just feel, that sometimes rushing through this, making a show for the public, for your Facebook pages, I think it just wouldn't be prudent. And I feel that, I know a lot of people came out tonight and it would be an inconvenience to them, but I feel for the district, for our students, for our employees, I feel that we should perhaps table this meeting, wait until we get a decision by the courts, and then come back. So I would like to make a motion to table this meeting.
Second.
Yeah, sure.
Madam President, if I may.
I believe when there is a motion
No
to table,
discussion
there's
because
no comment.
it's a motion on the table.
Understood, Madam President.
It's a motion on the table. We
I
can't
understand.
discuss right now. We have the comments now?
No.
Just okay. Can roll call, please, Mr. Kennedy?
No.
Were you going to call for comments after the first and second? Oh, I'm sorry,
First-
for tabling.
It's a motion to table, Mr. Kennedy.
Moved
sorry.
by Mr. Rodriguez, second by Mr. Neron. Any comments?
No.
No comments.
Yeah, if I may, Madam President?
There are no comments on the table.
That's fine, Mr. Kenny. I'll wait my turn. It's early.
Bathalis.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Yes.
Castillo.
No.
Montero.
No.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
No.
Rodriguez.
Yes?
Trujillo.
No.
Amin.
No. Mr. Kennedy, can you take us through the agenda, please?
Approval of the minutes of the board meeting of December 11th.
Approve the minutes?
Approved by Mr. Trujillo, seconded by Mr.
Mr. Pereira.
Pereira. Any comments? Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathalis.
Abstain.
Carvalho.
Abstain.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Abstain.
Neron.
No.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
No.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Acceptance of the Secretary's report for November of 2014.
Accept the report?
Second.
Moving by Mr. Trujillo, second by Mr. Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathalis.
Abstain.
Carvalho.
Abstain.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Neron.
Abstain.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Abstain?
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Point of privilege, please.
I'm sorry. Tab 2A, Personnel Report.
Move the report?
Second.
Move the report by Mrs. Trujillo, second by Mr. Pereira. Any comments?
Yes, Madam President?
Yes.
Thank you. First, I just want to give congratulations, to the retirees for their years of service here in district. I wish them a healthy and happy retirement. Also, second, I have a question for the superintendent, if possible. On page 10, page 10, we have a teacher resource center that's moving out of Thomas Edison Career Technical and moving over to, I guess, lower of Elizabeth High School. Will there be a replacement for that teacher? Because I didn't find it in the...
Actually, following an analysis that was done by the Director of Special Services, that resource teacher was actually excess at Edison following a thorough review of the master schedules, so we reallocated the position to Elizabeth High School.
Awesome, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then one other thing, Madam President, thank you. On page 12, at the bottom, it says the high school's welcome center. Again, page 12, so I know some people are following along. 12 and 13, it says the high school's welcome center. It says that the following personnel are going to be employed from January 8th to February 6th from 4 to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 8 to 12, so on and so forth. It says to plan for a parent seminar. Now, between the three people, there's going to be 55 hours of planning for a seminar that's going to last for 5 hours. At a total cost of $4,400. Could you just explain how 55 hours of planning would go into that?
This is actually a registration period for high school. That is part of the offering that we do, extended hours and also during the weekend. So this covers all of those services that will be offered to the parents.
Oh, so it's not planning, it's actually coverage.
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay. So we are, continue?
Bathalis. Carvalho. Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Abstain.
Pereira.
Yes, with abstention on page 14.
Rodriguez.
Abstain.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Tab number 3, tuition report.
Move the report.
Second.
Move the report by Mr. Trujillo, second by Mr. Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathalis. Carvalho. Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Tab 4A, considerations.
Move the report.
Second.
Move the report by Mr. Pereira, second by Mr. Rodriguez. Any comments?
Yes, Madam President.
Yes?
I just want to wish our bowlers on page 7 for the Special Olympics bowling, I want to wish them a good luck on their competition. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Is this
4A.
tab 4A?
Yeah, that's 4C, right? That's
4A.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. I only have 3 requests. Is there 7?
No, it was a last-minute addition.
No, it was the wrong piece. I think he was
Okay.
quoting the wrong.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was the last minute.
Any other comments?
Hold on, please. Let's make sure we're all on the same page.
I still wish them luck.
You may resume, Madam President.
Bathalis.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Four B, use of facilities.
Move the report.
Second.
Move the report by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Neron. Any comments?
Yes.
Yes, board.
Mr. Kennedy, is the recommendation for these requests to be moved with waiver of facility fees and waiver of all fees, or just waiver of facilities?
It's to be number one, usually the administration, as you know, always moves everything with just a waiver of facility fees. But I should have mentioned that the board might want to consider waiving fees for number one.
Any other comments?
Yes, Madam President, thank you. If I could address, I guess, Mr. Lehman and Ms. Hugelmeyer and Mr. Kennedy on this. On number one, for the Benedictine Academy to use the pool, I think it's a great, with waiver fees, I would support. I have some questions in terms of insurance, liability, and so on and so forth, because if they were to, well, obviously it's a pool environment, so we have a higher risk of something happening. If we were to waive fees, would we be more liable as opposed to if we were to charge fees? I mean, I don't want to charge fees.
It wouldn't have any effect on liability.
Okay, so it doesn't. Thank you.
Either way, all of our users of facilities have to provide their proof of insurance with an insurance certificate. And this one, the request came, they're trying to start a swim team, so.
Correct.
I didn't think they'd be able to.
But they do have insurance in case.
They do. Any users of our facilities have to give us their insurance certificate first.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Bathelus.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
4BB is use of facilities with fees.
Move the report.
Second.
Move the report, Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Castillo. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathelus.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
4C, field trips.
Move the trip.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathelus.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
I'm sorry, what was the roll call? What was the call?
Field trips, 4C.
And what was the vote from our two board members?
Trujillo and Pereira.
No, but who voted and who voted? What was their votes?
Yes.
Yes, it's, okay, yes.
Naron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Superintendent's report.
Move the report.
Move it, second. Who second the report? And then the superintendent.
Thank you.
In this month's Inside EPS, we would like to recognize former Elizabeth High School standout Bowls named the Jets head coach. The Elizabeth Public School congratulates former Elizabeth High School football player Todd Bowles for being selected as the head coach of the New York Jets. Long before his success as a professional football player and coach, Bowles honored his athletic skills in Elizabeth. Bowles was born in Elizabeth on November 18, 1963, and lived in Elizabethport. Growing up, Bowles participated in athletics at the George Washington School No. 1 community program. Bowles went on to become a star safety for the Elizabeth High School football team, graduating with the class of 1981. Bowles went on to become a 4-year starter as a defensive back at Temple University. In 1984, he earned his first team All-East honors as a junior. After a productive senior season, Bowles was selected to participate in the 1985 Blue-Gray Games, which served as a senior all-star game. After going undrafted in the 1985 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins signed him as a free agent where he would play for 7 seasons. He also played 1 season for the San Francisco 49ers in 1991. One of the top highlights of Bowles' 8-year career was starting at free safety for the 1988 Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins, who defeated the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl 42-10. Following a successful playing career, Bowles joined the Green Bay Packers organization as a member of the team's player personnel staff in 1995. In 2001, he received his first professional coaching position from then front office executive Bill Parcells, serving as defensive backs coach of the New York Jets. After serving as defensive back coach for the Jets, Cleveland Browns in 2004, and the Dallas Cowboys from 2004 through 2007, he was hired by the Dolphins as the team's secondary coach and assistant head coach in 2008. Bowles served the last 3 games of the 2011 season as the team's interim head coach, posting a record of 2-1. Bowles would move on to coach the secondary for the Philadelphia Eagles in January 2012 and was named defensive coordinator later in the 2012 season. He served as defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals the past 2 seasons before coming full circle to return home and rejoin the Jets organization as its new head coach. We're incredibly proud to have an Elizabeth graduate as the Jets coach. I'm a Steelers fan, but I may have to become a Jets fan now. New Classrooms wins $3 million grant to expand personalized learning in Elizabeth Public Schools. The U.S. Department of Education has awarded New Classrooms Innovation Partners a $3 million Investing in Innovation grant to expand its successful personalized learning model in partnership with the Elizabeth Public Schools. This grant will allow New Classrooms to implement its Teach to One math personalized instructional model in up to 5 additional district schools in Elizabeth and conduct a rigorous 3-year study of its impact with the Consortium for Policy, Research, and Education at Columbia University's Teacher College. New Classrooms is currently working in iPrep Academy in Elizabeth, where Teach to One Math leverages classroom design, teacher talent, and technology to enable personalized learning for every student every day. Along with a second school implementation planned this year, the 5 expansion schools made possible by the I-3 grant will mean 25% of Elizabeth's 27 K-8 schools will be implementing Teach to One math. In Teach to One, middle school students receive a combination of small group, large group, and individual math instruction that builds on the skills they mastered the previous day. According to an independent study released last month, the 6,000 students in 15 schools using Teach to One nationally made, on average, a 1.5-year growth of progress in math, or 47% more than the national average. At iPrep, students, on average, made 1.7 years of progress, or 70% more than the national average. Elizabeth Public Schools has a bold vision that centers on personalized learning, and we are excited to be a part of it. This is a quote from New Classroom's co-founder and CEO, Joel Rose. By serving more students and rigorously evaluating ourselves, we intend to show there is another way of doing school that can vastly improve outcomes for students from all different backgrounds. We thank all of our partners and the U.S. Education Department for recognizing the importance of R&D and helping to modernize our school systems. We are extremely fortunate that a strong collaborative partnership exists with New Classrooms. Our work together has resulted in students at our iPrep Academy making significant gains across grade levels, racial groups, and student designations, including our English language learners and also special education. We're very fortunate to have been awarded this opportunity to bring Teach to One Math to 5 additional schools in this upcoming school year to implement personalized, effective, and innovative learning experiences that are customized to the academic needs of students. And this allows for inquiry and exploration into student interests that ultimately will lead to college and career readiness. Federal funding will support 87% of the total cost of this project. In order to be eligible for this federal grant, New Classrooms is required to raise $450,000 in matching funds, or 50% of the government's total contribution. The Bezos Family Foundation is among the private donors who will fund this effort. The Consortia for Policy, Research, and Education at Teachers College, Columbia University is delighted to be involved in the evaluation of Teach to One Math in Elizabeth, New Jersey Public Schools. We are looking forward to working with both New Classrooms, innovation partners, and the students and staff in Elizabeth in this important effort to transform mathematics teaching and learning. And this is a quote from Douglas Reddy, an Associate Professor of Education and Public Policy at Teachers College, who will lead the evaluation team. New Classrooms, Elizabeth, and CP were among just 26 winning applicants out of more than 430 that applied. The organizations are in the process of selecting the schools and the timeline for this expanded partnership. We have additional good news to share with all of you. Based on the state assessment data, Elizabeth High School has been nominated to apply for the 2015 National Blue Ribbon School Award as an exemplary high-performing school. The U.S. Department of Education will be sending the Elizabeth High School a formal invite to apply for the program shortly. The completed applications are very comprehensive and are due to the Department of Education in March of this school year. The successful completion of this application will lead to the next hurdle, which will require Elizabeth High School to make its annual targets for the 2014-15 school year. If that is completed, then Elizabeth High School will be invited to attend the National Award Ceremony in Washington, D.C. in November 2015, where we'd also like to share with you that we had the honor of attending the State Board of Education meeting at the beginning of January. The state of New Jersey hosted a recognition ceremony to honor Tracy Espirito, our Milk and Educator Award winner, and also to honor school number 22 as a Blue Ribbon School, and we had the honor of joining Mr. Mike Webb at this State Board of Education meeting to celebrate the success of our schools. And this concludes our monthly Inside EPS report. Thank you very much.
Tab number 5, authorization report.
Report moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Castillo. Any comments?
Yes, Madam President?
Yes?
Thank you. I just want to say on page 3, there are 3 donations. I just want to personally thank each one. It's the Elizabeth chapter of Unico. They gave us $900. A thank you to Lens Crafters, $4,500, which is a nice chunk of change, and also $5,000 from the Figli di San Gennaro to the Elizabeth High School Band Program. So I just want to thank those 3 donors. So thank you.
Any other comments? Roll call, Mr. Kennedy, please.
Bathelus.
Yes.
Carvalho. Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Five A, supplemental authorization report.
Move the report.
Second?
Moved by Mr. Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Castillo. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathelus. Five A, sorry. Thank you. Carvajal.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Six, authorization to pay vouchers.
Pay the vouchers.
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Pereira. Any comments?
Yes, I have comments. I'd like to schedule a meeting, please, with the superintendent and the business administrator so that I can better understand how we're spending our money and these vouchers that need to be paid.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Bathelus.
Yes, with extension to number 24.
Carvalho.
Abstain.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
We're on 6, right? Tab 6?
Yes.
Okay, I'm standing on number 3, 12, 17, 25, 26. Yes on everything else.
Neron.
Yes, and abstaining to number 24.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes, abstention 24.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
6A, finance and accounting report, transfer of funds.
Transfer the funds. Mr. Kennedy, I'm sorry. Ms. Amin, can I have this question?
Yes.
Ms. Kennedy, did tab 6 pass?
Yes, there was 5 votes on
Everything passed?
everything. Yes.
Oh.
Motion by Mr. Trujillo, second by Mr. Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathelus.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Abstain.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Neron. Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
7, award of contracts report.
Award the contract.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Castillo. Any comments?
I have a question.
Yes, Commissioner.
I'd like to set up an appointment with the business administrator and superintendent. I'd like to go over the contracts with, for the busing service so that I can better understand why we're spending this money on our buses.
Any other comments?
Yes, Madam President?
Guys, can you do me a favor? We can't hear down here. If you could use the microphones.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Thank you, Madam President. I know this year we had to cut a lot of busing throughout the entire district, and there's a lot of families suffering, and to the point where some people who can't make ends meet have to hire taxi services or private people to, take their kids to school. So there's a lot of money in these contracts. In our agenda, though, it says it's recommended by the Director of Transportation, and they tell us that this is the lowest responsible bidder. They give an amount. It's almost $1 million worth of contracts here, but I don't see the other bids. So we're told that this is the lowest bid, but on our agenda, we don't see any other bids. Why were the other bids not included on this agenda?
The names were included, but the dollar amounts weren't. We just showed who responded to the bids, and it was awarded to the lowest bidder, lowest responsible bidder.
Okay. In the future, I would ask, in the sake of transparency for the public and for everyone, that we put at least the top 3 or the lowest 3 bidders, so that we can see who it is. Because what I'm afraid of is a lot of times if the bid spread, if the next lowest is a substantial difference, then the lowest bidder, there could be something kind of fishy. If there's a difference of over $1 million or $500,000, there could be an issue. So I just hope that in the future, especially with contracts that are, $250,000, almost $400,000, and so on, that we can put in the next, or actually the 3 lowest bidders, please. Again, for the sake of transparency, and also as a board member, I'd like to see, the bid spread. What's the difference between the lowest and the second lowest? Is it close, or is it really far apart? Because if it's really far apart, it's something that we should look into in terms of why are they so different. So with that, thank you.
Madam President,
Yes, Commissioner Trujillo?
Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Rodriguez brings up a valid point, and transparency is important, and always has been as long as I've been on this board. Just so I just understand this correctly, this is the most, not only the lowest, but the most responsible bidder, meaning that these are the people who can actually get the job done.
Correct, that's right. It's not always the lowest. It's a combination of, are they able to provide the services also.
Because we can all imagine, so my colleagues understand where I'm going with this, we can all understand a scenario where someone who wins the bid cannot actually provide the service, and leaving us in the middle of a school year when the weather gets bad and not being able to provide the service to our children, and perhaps leaving them stranded. And I believe in the past we've had issues with even some of the responsible services, which are bigger, usually the bigger companies who have the more equipment and most experience, and even then issues arise. So it's tough to say that we would give this to someone who's irresponsible simply because they're the cheapest.
That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Hey, I'm sorry, Madam President, if I may just make one point. I believe that all bids are available upon review from the public. If someone from the public is interested in seeing,
absolutely,
they can contact your office, and you could provide that information for them.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
Madam President, may I speak?
Yes, Commissioner Carvalho?
As the commissioner, I can request that be put on the agenda, correct, Mr. Kennedy?
Certainly, we can
So I
adjust
do
the
make that
presentation.
request, please, that in the future, that be put on the agenda so that we know what's going on.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
If I can just make one more comment, it all quotes in accordance with 18A, and those are the rules that the purchasing department follow. So it would be somewhat, not silly, but somewhat risky to knowingly put up a bid that was not the lowest responsible bid. That's kind of what the purchasing department in my office does. but for the sake of transparency, it's certainly something we can provide.
Correct, yeah, because
Thank you.
as board members, we're stewards of the public's money, and we're being asked to, again, almost vote on almost $1 million worth of tax dollars, so, yeah, I would appreciate, at least for me and also for the board, for the public, to know if we're spending their money where, I'm more concerned really in the bid spreads, especially if it's very way off, why is it, and to go from there. So thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay. Bathlis.
I'm going to abstain on page 1 and 2 and yes on the rest.
Carvalho.
Abstain.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naron.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Because of that reason, I'm going to abstain on page 1 and 2, but on page 2, the heading, there's, at the very bottom, it says contract with VIP Community Services. I vote yes on that and yes to the rest. I just don't want to interpret my, yeah, I don't want.
Page cut.
Yeah, no, I just don't want my abstention to include that. But
Okay.
the rest, 1 and 2, yes. 1 and 2, abstain, and the rest, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Tab 7A, supplemental awards of contracts.
Award the contracts.
Second?
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Castillo. Any comments?
Yes, Madam President?
Yes, Commissioner Rodriguez?
Oh, thank you. On page 1 on 7A, it says amend contract with New Classrooms Innovative Partners. These are the ones that were in your report?
Yes, that is correct. This is the Teach to One math initiative that we referenced in Inside EPS. We are preparing to launch a mid-year implementation at School 9, and that is one additional school for this year, in addition to School 8. So we're amending the current contract for School 8 in order to add School 9.
And so we are paying that amount out of pocket for this contract?
That is correct, yes. The amount that's referenced, January through June of the 132, that is the amount, yes.
All right.
That includes all startup fees.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Recall, please.
Bathlis.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Abstain.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naron.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes?
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Tab number 8 is miscellaneous communications. There are none. Tab number 9, claims list.
Pay the claims.
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathlis.
Abstain.
Carvalho.
Abstain.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naron.
Abstain.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Abstain?
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Resolution, tab number 10, authorizing the procurement of goods and services through state agency for the 14-15 school year.
Move the resolution.
Second?
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathlis.
Yes.
Carvalho. Carvalho, sorry.
Abstain.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naron.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes?
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
(10A), Madam President, would you like to assign someone in the board to read that?
Yes, please. I would like to recognize Commissioner Trujillo for 10A, the African American.
Yes, Madam President, with pleasure. Board of Education Resolution, African American Heritage Month. Whereas African Americans have played a highly significant role in the development of the great democratic society and in all aspects of national, state, and local life. And whereas the Elizabeth Board of Education recognizes that it is within the school community that pride in our nation's history and appreciation for the experiences and contribution of men and women of all racial, religious, and ethnic groups are developed. And whereas assisting students in the acquisition of accurate information and the development of positive concepts concerning African American history is an integral part of our curriculum. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the month of February 2015 be designated as African American Heritage Month to promote awareness of valuable contribution of African Americans past and present to all of American life. Be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be forwarded to all principals and librarians in the Elizabeth Public Schools to encourage the development of programs, activities, and displays in recognition of the important role African American men and women have played in the birth, growth, and development of this country. I so move this resolution.
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathelis.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naran.
Yes.
Ferrer.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Absolutely, yes.
Amin.
Yes. I would like to recognize Commissioner Carvalho for the resolution Career and Technical Education Month.
Whereas career and technical education programs seek to assist students in attending a maximum level of achievement in the fulfillment of their potential as human beings. And then, whereas our school is designed to assist each student in developing economic independence along with civic and social responsibility. And whereas our career and technical education programs guide our students in their pursuit of occupational and academic excellence, assist them in the acquisition of entry-level skills, and lead them to aspire the meaningful careers. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the members of the Elizabeth Board of Education do hereby proclaim the month of February 2015 as Career and Technical Education Month, and urge all citizens to visit our occupation technical classes to observe the ability and skills of our youngsters and the state-of-the-art technology that is integral part of the program. Be it further resolved that the copies of this resolution be forwarded to all principals and librarians in the Elizabeth Public Schools to encourage student interest in occupational and technical programs and to focus attention on all of our program offering during Career and Technical Education Month. I move this resolution.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Carvalho, second by Commissioner Neron. Any comments?
Yes, Madam President?
Yes.
Thank you. I just want to reaffirm that we have a great career and technical high school here in the district that does fantastic technical and career training, and we're looking forward to expanding that program. And these are students who can go directly straight into the workplace with accreditation and certificates that will earn them jobs that are paid at much higher than the minimum wage, at livable wages, what we call. So, I of course will support this resolution, but I just want the public and to reaffirm our commitment to career and technical education. So, thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Commissioner. Barrera?
Yeah, I personally think it's one of those, probably one of the most critical high schools that we have because, as we all know, not every student is generally geared towards going on that secondary education, going to college, and getting the skills that they are being taught at this school teaches them in some cases to be electricians or caregivers for children, or they learn how to cut hair or skills that they can use to gain a job and employment, gainful employment to be fruitful citizens when they leave high school. So to me, it's one of those very important programs that we need to make sure that we always support and just keep making sure that it's always funded and performing at the level that it is right now. So I move the resolution as well. It's definitely supported.
Madam President,
Yes, Commissioner Trujillo?
I just would like to piggyback on Commissioner Rodriguez and Mr. Pereira's comments. The technical school provides great opportunities, as Mr. Pereira said, to all our children who seek a vocational education, and highlights a lot of their skills. For those who don't know, they have a great culinary program. We've partnered with Trinitas, and we have a great nursing program, which is very popular. It's my understanding for years they've had a cosmetology program that's been very popular. And I remember early on when I started to serve on this board, the auto body was closed for a while, and we were able to, with the board's initiative at the time, to revive that program, and it's viable now, and it's teaching young men and women to become mechanics, and they do body work as well there. So there's it's a great opportunity. It's a great school. I know we have a mock supermarket where some of the children with special needs work. So it is overall probably one of the schools that gets the least recognition, but it's doing very important work. And I urge my colleagues to visit the school and to give the newly appointed principal some support and let her know that we stand behind and we're committed to the programs and the education at the vocational program. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yes, Madam President,
Ferrari.
you know better than any other commissioner on this board how important career and technical education is to me. So I thank you for allowing me to read this tonight, because no one else in this room knows how much more important that is than you, because you were my campaign partner. So thank you.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Bathelis.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes?
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Madam President? May I? Thank you. I just, sorry to interrupt. I mean, I just want, I guess we should have done this before, and I completely forgot. I just want to thank a couple of elected officials. I know, believe me, everyone's very important. I just want to give thanks for their commitment to public education and taking time away from their busy lives, just like all of us, but to be here and support. We have Union County freeholder Sergio Granados. Thank you. We have Elizabeth City Council President Patricia Perkins Auguste here also. Thank you. Councilman at Large Manny Grova, thank you. And Councilman of the First Ward Carlos Torres, thank you very much. And also, last night, I know two of my colleagues actually, I was with them last night. Was it last? I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah, it was yesterday, sorry. Mr. Taylor from School 9 organized a great event. It was a basketball tournament between staff and also members of the boards of education against students. And it was a great game. I know Mr. Montero and Mr. Pereira and actually Mr. Torres we played on the staff side, and regardless of what goes on here, you know, the back and forth sometimes, we do come together. Believe it or not, we do come together for what we all hold dear, which is the students. And it was a really great game, and I'll tell you what, we did not let up. We tried really, really hard, and it was a nail-biter. We lost by 1 point. So I want to congratulate. I can barely move my shoulder, but I want to congratulate Mr. Taylor down at School 9, who's a physical education teacher down there, for putting this great event together. And I would have been remiss if I waited and forgotten about this. So thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
10C, someone, maybe you'd want to assign 10C to someone?
I would like to recognize Commissioner Batlus for the resolution of the board, the next resolution, 10C.
Yes, Ms. Amin. Whereas Harriet Tubman was born into slavery in 1820 in Dorchester County, Maryland, and whereas in her youth, Harriet Tubman served as a field hand and a house servant on a Maryland plantation, and whereas Harriet Tubman's burning quest for independence and dignity led to her decision to run away, traveling more than 100 miles to escape from slavery. And whereas, despite the excitement of personal freedom, Harriet Tubman was saddened by the knowledge that her friends and family were still living as slaves. And whereas, Harriet Tubman, with courage and determination, worked to establish the Underground Railroad, a network of routes through forests and fields and across rivers, which offers safe passages to escaping slaves. And whereas Harriet Tubman personally made a total of 19 journeys to lead more than 300 slaves, including her parents, to freedom. And whereas Harriet Tubman has earned the love, respect, admiration of our nation for her role as the Moses of the Black people. Now therefore, be it resolved that appropriate studies and activities be planned in all of our district schools to honor Harriet Tubman, a woman whose life was dedicated to assisting others achieve the freedom and independence so important to the human spirit. Be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be forwarded to all principals and media specialists in the Elizabeth Public Schools. I so move this resolution.
Move the resolution by Commissioner Batlus, second by Commissioner Trujillo. Any comments?
Yes, point of privilege, please. I'm excited that we as a school board make these resolutions, and extremely excited to celebrate a trailblazer in the liberation of African people throughout the world, Harriet Tubman, and I encourage us as a district to continue pushing forward curriculums of inclusion to educate our children so that they understand the importance of their history. This is why we recognize these different months. Every month we recognize a different month of different heritage and different nationalities. And you know, when it comes to African History Month, there is a state mandate that we infuse a curriculum of inclusion in the school systems through the Amistad Commission in the state. And I just want to encourage my fellow board members to support our superintendent as we move forward to implementing the Amistad regulations in our school district and making sure we infuse a curriculum of inclusion here in the state, here in the city, which will help uplift our youth, help to improve race relations, help to improve relations among human beings, and understand that we can be one family through understanding education and understanding each other's history. So I just want us to not take these resolutions lightly, but understand the meaning behind these resolutions and what it means to celebrate a Harriet Tubman and what that meant to African people and African people around the world, but what it means to people in general and what it means for us to be free and have a voice today and be able to be liberated and be able to have freedom of speech, be able to learn, be able to read. Because if you know, at one point, it was illegal for Africans here in this country to read. It was considered illegal for them to do things and be treated equal and be equal man. So we've come a very long way, but we have so far to go and continue to educate our children. So let's do that, and let's stand as a Board of Education to continue to do that. And I commend the board for making this resolution. Thank you.
Batlus.
Yes.
Cavallo.
Carvalho. Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero. Neron.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes. I would like to recognize for the next resolution, Commissioner Castillo.
I'm happy to do that. Children's Dental Health Month. Whereas the Elizabeth Board of Education recognized the importance of Children's Dental Health Month, which is observed nationwide during the month of February, and whereas the Elizabeth Board of Education is aware that observance of Children's Dental Health Month helps to emphasize the need to establish good and dental health habits early in life, and whereas early recognition of the importance of regular checkups will provide good dental hygiene in adulthood. Now, therefore, be resolved that the members of the Elizabeth Board of Education do hereby proclaim the month of February 2015 as Children's Dental Health Month to foster the development of good health in children and adults. Be further resolved that copies of this resolution we forward to all principals, librarians, and nurses in the Elizabeth Public Schools to encourage continuing instruction about good dental health habits. I do proudly, as a former dental hygienist, and my brother and my sister-in-law are dentists, I do proudly move this resolution.
Move the resolution by Commissioner Castillo, second by Commissioner Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathalis. Cavallo.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes. And I would like to recognize for the next resolution, Commissioner Neron.
Thank you. Resolution National School Counseling Week. Whereas school counselors have a significant impact in the lives of our children, directing them in a positive direction and leading them to successful futures. And whereas the dedicated service of guidance counselors and the relationship they forge with their students go beyond the surface of education, rooting deeper into the personal lives of their students by offering their compassion and empathy. And whereas school counselors help develop students and the pathway they travel towards prominence by helping them select classes for student schedules, walking students through the college admission and career choice process, and communicating with their students in a warm, friendly manner. And whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children, and whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves, and whereas the school counselors serve as a valuable resource to our children in creating well-adjusted ladies and gentlemen who become upstanding citizens of our community and society as a whole. Now, therefore, be it resolved as a sign of appreciation and recognition for the outstanding and invaluable work of guidance counselors, the Elizabeth Board of Education hereby proclaims the week of February 2nd to the 6th, 2015 as National School Counseling Week, and urges members of the community to acknowledge the wonderful job our counselors perform to ensure the advancement of our children towards a brighter and prosperous future. Be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be forwarded to all principals and media specialists to encourage the observance of the National School Counselors Week in our district. I so move this resolution. Please give them a big round of applause.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Neron, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any comments?
Yes. I definitely want us to understand the importance of school counselors and social workers in our schools. And when we talk about counseling, we also need to understand that our teachers and our administrators need counseling too, because they have their hands full and they need somebody to talk to. So I want us to just recognize that, and I wanted to emphasize to the district administrators, our superintendent, our board members to understand that we need to support our teachers, our administrators, and our staff because they have a major load on their plate. They have a lot of burden to carry when they have to deal with so many of these socioeconomic issues here in our district and just issues in general. We look at the sad case that took place at School 22 with one of our teachers. You know, our teachers over there need support, and we need to be there to support them. So counseling is a major element, and I suggest that those of you at home and our children and our colleagues, if you need the help for counseling, seek it, because at the end of the day, if you don't get the necessary counseling that you need and the guidance that you need, you know, it may not be a good thing, and you need guidance and you need the support in your lives. And it's important that we emphasize National School Counseling Week, and I'm excited to be able to move this resolution. Thank you so much.
Second.
Commissioner Pereira?
Yes, I also want to piggyback off of Mr. Naran, Commissioner Naran. It's a very important job that they carry. It's a very heavy load that we put on guidance counselors in the district and across the nation. They have in their hands the job and task to make sure that they're directing the kids in the right path, to make sure that they can achieve graduating from high school and be ready to take on that college programs that they're going to be forced or faced with after graduation. So they carry a heavy load. It's tough, a lot of pressure, and I just want to thank them from the bottom of my heart, because I know how stressful it is. It's a lot of students. They have a heavy load every day, every year, and it's a very important one. And if you're a parent and you have kids that are either going to K-8 or even in high school, which is very important, make sure that you know who that person is and keep a constant contact, because it's very important for your student success. So I want to thank them all for all the guidance counselors here in the district for all their hard work. Thank you.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Battelis. Cavallo. Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naran.
Yes.
Ferrer.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
That concludes the agenda.
Madam President?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm not sure what we're going to do next. I know you run the agenda, but I would hope that we could do public participation next. I'm not sure if anyone signed up or not, but I know the nights are long, and I would hope that the people who came to speak could do so before. Again, like I said, I don't know if we're going to private or not. It's your agenda or how you run it, but I would urge, if we're not doing public participation, to do that now. In the past, I've had to wait till 2 in the morning, and it was unfair, so I would hope that we could, correct that and perhaps let the public speak now, and so that they can go home to their families. Thank you.
Madam President, if I may. Madam President, if I may. Thank you. First, let me start by thanking everyone here tonight, and I mean everyone, taking time out from all your busy schedules to be here tonight. And I think it's an important part of our democracy. We certainly know we may not all agree on all the issues on all the time, but it's important that it seems to be only around elections or after elections that people seem to come together, and then as the months and weeks go by, less and less people attend meetings. I think I would encourage and respectfully ask that more people should attend more meetings here, both at City Council, at your county government, and be informed and be involved. As an Elizabeth Board of Education Commissioner, I've had the distinct opportunity to open up new schools, establish new exciting technology programs, help raise our academic standards, and to be a part of this rich mosaic of individuals all over our city. I was born and raised in Elizabethport. As a matter of fact, Todd Bowles, the young man today who's going to be the New York Jets coach, used to come into my mother's store pretty much every day. He was just 1 year ahead of me. He was attending Temple University, and I was attending Rutgers, and we would always, jab each other about both our schools. And aside from being an incredible, outstanding athlete, he was just one of the nicest all-around guys I knew growing up in Elizabethport. So, and that was the kind of role models that we all, I guess, aspire to be. We can be something from Elizabethport. We could be anything that we set our minds and our hearts to. So the level of commitment to our schools exists in this community. As a Board of Education member, we don't earn a salary, and many people think we do. You are rewarded, or we are rewarded, with the smiles of countless children, especially when you see them all succeeding and you see them all aspiring to greater things. And I think that's what we all set out to do. Certainly this was a difficult 2 weeks here at the Elizabeth Board of Education. I had submitted my letter to this board so that I could take some of the energy and apply it to other issues here in the city of Elizabeth. You know, issues with crime. Crime is sort of spiraling out of control, and I think leadership is lacking to join people together. And we know that the city may be divided. These elections are coming in within, you know, dozens of votes from each other. And whether one group or the other group plays that there's a majority, it's clear that the city is divided. We need, as individuals, as a city, we need to listen more, talk less. We need to argue less and hope more. I think we need to believe more and doubt less, and more than anything, we need to hate less and love more. I give my thanks to God, and certainly give thanks to my mother and father. I never stopped thanking my mother and father. I lost my mother many years ago, but she walks by my side every day. And she instilled in myself and my two brothers a great deal of that. And growing up as children of immigrants and growing up in Elizabethport, and many of you haven't heard my story of little Miguel, who aspired, and that's my brother who aspired, and today became a pilot of a captain in United Airlines flying a $300 million plane. That was all because of the love of my mother and my father and incredible, incredible teachers who believed in myself and in my brothers. So when I set off on this journey to involve myself in public life, and people said, I became a councilman back in 1994 for the first time with my colleague, myself and my colleague, who's now Councilman Manny Grova. We were rugrats down in Elizabethport. We grew up together. We both ran at the same time and won at the same time. And here are two kids who, from Elizabethport, went on to, you know, make a difference here in the city, both in the professions that we're in and also in public life. I never set out for it to be a career, and people say you're going to wreck your political career by opposing the mayor or standing up to the senator or standing up to my board members. And I never understood that, because politics was never my career. Fortunately, I do well in business, and I have, you know, aspired to do many things outside of the world of politics and public service. It's a love and it's a passion, and that comes first. And I think many of us along the way, we seem to forget that. And once on city council, people ask me, or actually, Madam President, I know you had a very, very difficult first meeting of swearing in, and my heart went out to you, because that first meeting should have been a meeting of ceremony, of joy, of family, and to all the board members. That was their night, the newly elected board members. It was their night. It was their night. They were elected and sworn in. It should have been a night of celebration. And it turned out to be a night that I hope many of us can live to forget. It was vile. Offensive things were said. People were disruptive. And it's sad, because together we're all one community. And to Madam President, my heart went out to you. Whether you stood for your convictions, you stood for your principles, and I know how difficult that is. And today you asked me, before coming outside, you asked me if you had never received so many phone calls and text messages and emails from so many people that you were torn apart, and you asked me if I had ever received those. And the answer was quite simply, I did. See, when I became a councilman, my first term was pretty uneventful. I did what I did with my community. I worked hard in the 5th Ward. And then I differed with the mayor. I differed with the mayor on policy. I differed with the mayor on many issues. Again, that's our democracy. We may all be on the same party line, Democratic line, but we differed. Unfortunately, the system then, I wasn't allowed to differ. And someone asked me, and someone on the board asked me, as a matter of fact, if the most difficult event of my political life, when I was removed from a city council chamber by the council president at the time, who asked to silence me, and because I was speaking out on the budget. I hold no malice toward the council president at the day. Council President,
I'm sorry.
Council, I held no malice and no hate for the council person that night. The council person believed they were doing what they thought they needed to do. And I believed and I knew I was going to do what I had to do, and I did. But that was not the hardest.
Can you please remain in silence in order to finish the meeting? If you want to talk, you have the time to talk, and you can sign the sign sheet.
As a matter of fact, in all due respect, the councilman just said I haven't let it go. I've let it go a long time ago. See, because I hold no hate and no malice toward anyone. Like I said, the council president at the time thought or believed she was doing what she had to do, or was told to do, and I did what I knew I had to do. But that wasn't the hardest and most difficult political event of my life. What was harder than that was that my oldest brother, was a municipal judge here in the city of Elizabeth. When on a city council meeting, I was told I differed. I didn't agree with something that was being voted on in city council. I spoke out. And I was told then by the administration at the time that if I continued to oppose the agenda or the items on the council, that my brother would no longer be the judge. Now, this was said to me one-on-one. Could it be proven? Because we know how it works. No, I didn't have it tape recorded. But what was the most difficult event of my life was having to go see my older brother. And to say to my brother Nelson that this is going to kill me, but there is something on the city council that I don't agree with. I really don't want to vote for it, but I've been told if I vote for it or don't vote for it, you will no longer be reappointed as a judge. My brother does not have a political bone in his body. He is the most apolitical person you will ever meet. He was loved by both law enforcement, both by the legal community. He treated everyone with decency and with fairness, just like my mom and my dad would have wanted us to do. I said that to my brother, and my brother said to me, "You do what's right. You do what you were elected to do." I expected that from my brother. I expected to hear that from my brother. But what came next was the hardest thing that I ever done. I had to go see my mom and my dad. Because my brother, I expected that. Do what you have to do. But my mom and dad, so when I sat there with my mom and dad and said, "Mom, Dad, there's something on city council that's coming up I don't agree with. I know I'm torn about it, and I know, you think that your parents would say, well, don't make noise, son. Go along with everything. You're going to wreck your political career. You're going to screw up your brother's judgeship." And something happened that day that I never expected or imagined. My father, who doesn't have schooling, my dad, who came to this country as an immigrant, said to me, "Son, don't do it. Don't do it for me and Mom. And don't even do it for yourself. Do it for those young men who died on the beaches of France and Afghanistan, Iraq. Do it for those young men who aren't coming home and did it for you. Do it for them." Because see, and it was a life-changing moment because I would have never expected that from my dad and mom. To do it for those kids who paid the ultimate sacrifice. The kids buried out there in like Saving Private Ryan in those white crosses. 18-year-old kids who never got to do what we do and never got to sit where you sit. We do it for them. We all do it for them. That's what makes our democracy work. That's what makes this a great country. Don't ever let us forget that. Don't ever let us forget that we're any more important than that. We're a community and we need to be one. The city wants us to be, does not want us to be divided. They want us to be together. We need to find that way. But let us never, ever forget why we're here. And I want to thank all of you and everyone here for that opportunity. And I will never forget why I sit up here. Whether I'm here or whether I'm there with all of you, I will never be silenced, because I will always remember those young men that are over there. So thank you all so very much, and to my board colleagues, thank you all so much.
Madam President, may I speak? After this, we go into closed session, correct? We got to go to public comment? I just wanted to tell all the commissioners that are here tonight, I had the privilege to go to the Halsey High School today and the Dwyer High School, and our Key Club is running a blood drive, and I was there with our high school students today, and I gave blood, and I urge all of my fellow commissioners to support our Key Club, and I urge the public to also go out there. It's about our children and moving forward. Thank you.
Ms. Amin.
Madam President.
Ms. Amin, can I speak, please? I just want to recognize Councilman at Large Frank Cuesta for being here. Thank you for the support.
Sorry, I forgot you. I didn't see you.
Madam President, if I may. I also like to recognize a few people here. There's former board members, Oneida Duran, Carol Casio. I see our former colleague, Mr. Fajardo. I see our former board president, Mr. Armando da Silva, has taken the time to come here. I too would like to thank the teachers, the administrators, the custodial staff, the secretaries, security guards, the kitchen personnel, and everyone in between for coming out here tonight and attending this meeting. You've been the subject of many conversations on this board, and the way you have been treated has been the center of that conversation. I could tell you that I will continue to support each and every one of you. I understand that the school place is a special place, and that special people take on the vocation to work in schools. In order to work in our schools, you have to be tolerant, and you have to have lots of love and energy for our children. I, as a father of 2 children, entrust the staff of the school system every day with the most precious thing God has ever blessed me with, my children. And every day I leave them there, and I know that the people that are in that building will love them, will nurture them, and when they return home, they will be better people. So I will continue to support you. I will continue to support that you get paid well, that you work in a clean environment, a safe environment, that you not be bullied or pushed around, that you be respected, admired, and loved as well. I stand by you as I have when I was first elected in 2007, and I will continue to support you and stand by you. You will not always agree with everything I decide to do here, but I can tell you that in all honesty, I do it with a sincere heart and love for my city and for the schools and our children. I always welcome all of you to please feel free. This board has always been accessible, and we've always prided ourselves in being an accessible board, beholden to the public, whether you vote or not, whether you have the ability to vote, the right to vote or not. If you have children in our schools, if you live within our city bounds, if you are a member of this city, we are your board. We are here to represent you and to do what's right for you. So please don't hesitate to call us out on that. There were several resolutions that passed tonight, 2 in particular, that teach us about tolerance and about multiculturalism, and as far as we have come as a nation to tolerate others and our differences. Madam President, at your swearing in there were a lot of things that were said, and I am pleased to hear that today there's a more reconcilable tone to this meeting, and there is more of a normalcy to what happens here. This is a public institution, but does not mean that we cannot run it professionally and with respect for the public and for each other. I think it's important that going forward, we do respect each other's opinions and our differences. Mr. Montero, he spoke of his upbringing. I am the immigrant son of 2 Cuban Americans. They came to this country and left everything so that I could be here. So I am forever grateful for that. And every day I give thanks for that. My father just turned 80. He forgive me for being emotional, but he gave me the passion I have to be here. My father was not afraid of Fidel Castro and his regime. I will not be silenced. He sacrificed everything for this opportunity. So I find it absurd and offensive when I hear the mayor of my city sit here and heckle. He's not here today. I wish he was. I would like to tell him to his face. He sat here and he heckled this meeting. And he was picked up in an open microphone saying disparaging remarks of one of our members. That is not America. We should not support that. He owes an apology to this board. He can continue, ma'am, I'm speaking, okay? You'll have your turn if you signed up. That's the way it works here. At the end of the day, we have to be respectful of one another, and our leaders need to show that respect. As the mayor of this city for over 20 years, he's never attended any of these board meetings. He's never shown any interest in what we do here. And to come here and practically try to incite misbehavior, it's really pathetic. And it's sad, and he owes this diocese, not only me, but the members of this board who he's openly supported their campaigns. He owes them. Because it's quite frankly, it's embarrassing to all of us that the passion would get to the point where we just step all over each other and we forget that we have mutual constituencies. There are people there that vote for him, that vote for me. We have to respect each other. I too, Mr. President, have been removed from a city council meeting simply because I wasn't going to stay quiet while they raised our taxes, our property taxes. I own a small, modest home with my wife down the Elizabeth Port. It's not much of a home, but it's our home. There, I raised 2 children. My father was never able to buy a home. There's come a point where many residents in the city can't afford a home. The American dream that I am living is becoming further and further away from us. We have to be responsible and good stewards of the people's monies. And that's all I wanted to say at that city council meeting, to please be honest with the citizens. Stand up, do the right thing. It's your right to vote for a budget, that's fine, I understand that. But it's my right to oppose it, and to use the police to remove me from that meeting is a slap in the face of all those soldiers Mr. Montero mentioned who have fought for the right for me to speak. I would not remove anyone from this meeting for speaking their mind. I would never move to have the police used in that fashion. The police are here to protect and serve the public. They're not the Gestapo. This is not Germany. For the sitting city council president to make those disparaging remarks about Hispanics is sad and very sad. to stay there and sit and say she can't even speak English. Okay? Some of us speak with an accent. Some of us speak with an accent.
I'm asking to the public, please remain in silence in order to finish. Once again, I remind, can you please remain in silence?
Well, ma'am, you know, quite frankly, I believe it's true. I have a right to believe it's true. I have a right to stand by it. If someone,
excuse me.
Ma'am. Well,
officers, can you please?
Okay, excuse me.
Madam President, can you call order, please?
Remove somebody from our public. This is absurd if you're removing someone from the public.
I'm not asking to remove anyone. Please, Madam President, I don't want anyone to be removed. Okay, I just want everybody to have order, okay, and be respectful of everyone's opinion. Okay, it is my opinion that the council president said what she said. She owes the Hispanic community of the city of Elizabeth an apology. That's what it comes down to. You cannot come to this diocese and preach to us that you are tolerant and that you expect all of us to be respectful. You cannot come here and say you represent all of us simply because we speak with an accent. We have a right to be here. We've earned that right. Our soldiers, our children, our boys and girls have died on those beaches, and just as much. We have shed, we have paid with treasure and blood to have the opportunity for us to be here. We demand to be respected, and you should apologize to all of us. It is shameful. It is shameful that you call yourself a sitting president of the council and have the audacity to come here and insult.
Madam President.
Madam President, you don't get to speak unless you sign up. We have rules here.
Yeah, I will ask.
Let me finish. President to president. President to president. You can make a presidential.
You cannot come here, madam. I'm sorry. You cannot come here and bully us.
Relax.
Well, you know, I have not heard the council president say that I'm lying. Okay? I have not seen her say that I'm lying. So it must be true. Okay? I am sorry. I believe that it's true and she owes us an apology. I've been very respectful of the council president. On many occasions, I've been very respectful. I don't agree with everything she does, but I do respect her. And for her to insult myself and my community, I will not sit here and tolerate it. I am sorry.
Madam President.
Please relax.
Madam President.
Madam President. Madam
Point
President.
of privilege.
Madam President, please understand these people are upset because they voted for you. So please, let's relax. The people that are here that are speaking against are only upset because they voted for you, Madam President, and you switched. So please, relax. Let's relax, everyone. Everyone, please relax. Let's let Commissioner Trujillo speak so that you can all
I would like to call for 10-minute recess.
No.
Madam President, can we go to public comment? Because we're going to be here all night, and the public have been here for a very long time. That's the next item on the agenda. We need to be respectful to them and go to public comment.
Madam President?
Hold on, close this.
Might as well speak. Everybody else is.
Right now, we are going to the public comments.
Ms. Amin, if I could just say something.
Madam President?
Can I just say something really quick?
May I? It's brief. It's not. I'm not going to tell my life story or anything like that.
Don't disrespect, please do not disrespect any of the board members up here. We don't boo you when you say what you have to say. So please do not boo my colleague. Thank you.
I would just thank you. I know we have a policy in place that asks the public to sign in a full hour before our scheduled time in terms of to speak at the public. I would like to make a motion to waive that policy for tonight and allow.
I can't hear it.
And
Mr. Rodriguez, that's so
excuse
so
me,
out of
I have
order.
the floor, Mr. Montero, please. I don't interrupt you in your speech, please. Thank you. And I would like to make a motion to waive that policy for tonight, to allow the public and any member of the public to speak within the same confines of 3 minutes, an hour, because I know we have a lot of passionate people, I think, today in the stands. City Council doesn't, you know, we love to compare here, you know, but they don't make anybody sign in, and I think that would be the most fair thing.
No, Mr. Rodriguez, have it removed by the police when they don't agree with you. That's the difference. Okay, have the police remove you when you don't agree with them. That's the difference.
Please contain your passion, please, Mr. Trujillo. Let's try not to be divisive here, or hypocritical. So I would just like to make a motion to waive the sign-in portion of our policy, and I'd like to make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, no further comment.
Let the people speak, Madam President.
I'm talking. I'm not
I
going to
hear you.
recognize. I'm not going to recognize the motion. I will let the President of the Council speak.
That's very nice of you, Madam President. Thank you. Since she supported your election, too.
3 minutes.
So, thank you, Madam President. And just want to say about the one who has his back turned while I'm speaking. It's okay. Please, I have the floor. Madam President, you know how we work together, and you know how I feel about you. So whatever he's saying, you can smirk, but I'm not a traitor. I'm loyal to people who I'm loyal to. I don't have to hide behind anything or anybody or anyone. That much you know about me. Whatever the person is saying with his back turned is a total lie. He's a race baiter. He's a hater. And it's something that this city really does not need.
That's not allowed.
Excuse me.
That's not allowed. Wait a minute. You're out of, Madam President.
Would you tell
you're
me
out of
that?
order. Wait, you're out of order.
I'm not out of
we don't,
you're not the president.
We don't even allow. Listen, I'm not going to have you arrested, so don't worry. I won't have you arrested. Don't worry. Listen, I will not have you arrested. Don't worry. Madam President, we have a decorum. Wait, we have a decorum in this room. We don't even allow the public speakers to come up here and name names, remarks. You were out here calling out.
Mr. Montero, excuse me, can we have some order? Mr. Montero, at the end of the night, we allow for you to speak. We let you speak. You spoke.
You're already
now
out.
listen, you spoke.
Can we stop?
All right? The Madam President has allowed the President of City Council to have the floor.
The only thing that I want to ask you is be respectful with everyone. That's it. That's it. Okay.
Can you turn her mic on?
Make sure you listen over there, Madam President.
Okay.
Can you turn her mic on?
You have 3 minutes. You have the 3 minutes?
Don, can
Yes.
you turn her mic
Yes, she
on?
can.
We can't hear you.
Excuse me. Excuse.
We just want a
Can you
mic
let-
to be
I'm
on.
sorry, you're not speaking.
Her
at
mic
this
is
moment.
not on.
You're not speaking at this moment.
Her mic is not
I
on.
don't give you the floor yet. I'm talking
You
with
don't
the
need
President
what?
of the Council. I'm not giving you the floor right now.
I didn't ask you for it.
Okay,
I said her mic
you
is
don't
not
ask,
on.
You have to ask for permission to talk.
Her mic is not on.
Please.
May I speak, Madam President?
In order to listen, the President, everybody have to remain in silence. The President of the Council, please continue.
That's all I said.
Thank you so much. Madam President, as I was stating, I will not call any of your colleagues' name because I know that is inappropriate.
Thank you.
But however, Madam President, the gentleman who sits with you, race baits, meaning that he wants to put racism out in our community.
As you know, Madam President, I worked with you. We sat one-on-one. I respect you. I respect whatever you want to do. That's your decision. You have to live with it. You know that of me. Everyone who knows me know I don't got to hide behind anyone to say what I need to say to anybody. That's not me. The race baiter that sits with you is a race baiter. At the end of the meeting, I walked by, I said, Happy New Year to him. He immediately started attacking me for no apparent reason, talking about cops and crime, and I'm looking at him like he's crazy. When I just said, Happy New Year to him, Madam President, I went and I spoke to one of my police officers, one of the ladies, and I said, I think he needs a cop. He wants an escort. He wants a cop. She and I started laughing. I said, is it okay that you be his cop? She said,
I'm sorry.
She said yes. So that's all the conversation was. He has a problem, obviously, with women leadership. You talk about coming to America. I am a descendant of slaves here in this country. No one would ever believe that an African-American woman would sit on city council for 23 years with all men and is now the president. So God be the glory for my life. None of those guys who sit with you, my former council colleague, and the current member that has his back turned, can even put a candle under me. Okay, they can't touch me because I am God's, whether they like it or not.
Okay.
My mother
I'm sorry,
and my
Lisa,
father,
you have to stop.
my mother and my father taught me
I'm
how
sorry,
to stand on my own 2 feet.
You have to stop.
And I
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just say, we're going to continue public comment. I extended that courtesy to the council president. Everyone else is limited in their time as per our...
We are continuing to the comments. I will call everybody by the sign-in sheet. And at this time, the microphones are open for the public comments to those who have signed in prior to this session. I shall call individuals to the microphone based on the order of the sign-in. Each statement made by participants should be limited to 3 minutes in duration. The total time of the public comments should be limited to 60 minutes. No individual is able to yield their time to another individual. All statements should be directed to the presiding officer. No participants may address or question board members individually. The following rules as the public participation should apply. Time limits will be strictly enforced. No personal attacks on individuals. A person may address the board no more than once during a single meeting. A speaker should refrain from naming individuals. Comments or questions posed during the public participation will not be debated. The first one is Marcela Perotti.
Point of
I'm
order.
sorry, we are going to the public session right now.
No,
I'm
Madam
sorry,
President,
I know, I'm sorry.
Point of order, you must stop and
I'm sorry, we are not to the public session. Marcela Perotti. I'm sorry, Marcela is,
Your mic's not
excuse
on.
me.
according to our rules of governance, a point of order you must attend to first. You can ask your legal counsel if I'm correct or not. Point of order.
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear what you said.
I have a point of order.
Yes? What is it?
Okay. There was a motion made and a second. Can we take care of that motion? The motion was...
The motion wasn't recognized. The chair told you she would not recognize the motion.
How can you... It was motioned and seconded. I don't think...
Rodriguez,
Yes,
that's what the chair said. That's her ruling. She didn't recognize your motion. You're now interrupting someone's time.
So the motion, you're telling me that the president denied...
Mr. Rodriguez, can you please be respectful to Madam President? It's already difficult enough for the young lady to be the president in a second meeting, and you're going to make this is going to become if this is going to become a show for the next year.
Mr. Edelstein, is that correct?
Well, I didn't recognize your motion. Ms. Perotti is with the microphone. Can we respect her opinion? Thank you. No. You have 3 minutes.
I can speak now?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to know why did you deceive the people of Elizabeth when we voted 1, 2, and 5? And how are these people going to bring their children to school and believe in this system if you were the traitor and turned your backs on us? Explain that. Wait, but I'm not done, because Anna Maria, Amin, Serene, I don't know what your last name is because there's 5 of them, so I'm not quite sure. And another thing.
I'm sorry, Mr. Perotti.
Finish and say thank you.
Wait. And another thing is that I'm the firstborn American here. So I know exactly what you guys are talking about because both my parents came from Italy and I worked hard. I'm not sitting there with no payroll, but you should really stop the bordella and really think about the children in the school system. Because what you did was disgusting to this town. So, and don't ever, as a taxpayer, don't ever, not one of you say anything about the EPD, because if something happens to your 80-year-old father, your parents, your sister, they're the first to come. So shame on you for what you did to Maria. Shame on you. How can we trust you? And you know what? My parents came here and didn't know a word of English, so I don't want to go with this. We don't understand nothing. And you know what? My time is up. I'm not going to have you tell me. What is it, madam? Is that what they're addressing her? Because I don't know. Thank you.
It's time?
Yes, thank you, Armando. Thank you, Armando da Silva. Thank you. Because you know what? I love dogs, but I wouldn't rent an
I'm sorry,
apartment
Mr.
to put a dog.
Perotti. Thank you for your comments. The next person is Michael Kylwell. Michelle.
Madam President, I'm not here to cause a ruckus, but I just feel that 125 became 25. I don't understand. What kind of people change midstream? I feel as a taxpayer, City of Elizabeth, a city worker, that we were deceived. No harm intended, but it's just confusing to me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. The next one is Maria Lawrence. Not here? Maria Lawrence? Yeah. That's okay.
Good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
I'm here and I come today before you as one of your commissioners has stated that today is a new day. I hope that going forward it marks a day of responsiveness from leadership to parents' concerns and not ignoring emails and phone calls. I want to personally thank Mr. Cortez, Assistant Superintendent, and Ms. Sinizan for attending to some previous pressing issues that were important to me. So thank you very much if you're here. Today, my focus is needed in regards to special services. I find it extremely egregious that not once but twice I've been asked to sign an individualized education plan for both of my children without reading it. Just recently, I was being coerced to sign a document that, as we speak, has been on its 5th draft and is still not into me, due to improper observation of my child. It is unacceptable that one of your school staff tells a parent that advocates for her child that it is futile and that the child is drowning in the abyss of autism. I find that completely disgusting. I hope that this new day brings more funds into special services so that we may allocate appropriate resources and incur less lawsuits in the future. I also noticed in your core belief video that you included all of the children, unfortunately omitting those that have a disability. I hope that that is kept in the forefront of your agenda, as the running theme here seems to be tonight that no one will be silenced. I said it with the previous leadership here, and I'll say it again. I will continue to speak on issues of special services because it is a cause that is clear and very dear to my heart. I am a veteran at this in New York City, and I had just come into Elizabeth to see what I was getting into. It is broken, and it surely needs to be fixed. I hope that starts with you. Thank you.
You have something to say?
We worked very hard for that, Madam President. We campaigned together, door to door. That was one of the biggest concerns that you and I had, and I was looking forward to working with you to fix it.
Thank you. The next person is Carnestina Smith. Carnestina Smith. Where is it? Oh.
Good evening, everyone. Board of Education Commissioners.
Good evening.
The reason why I came here this evening is to talk about transportation. Children have the right to be transported to school back and forth if they're not able to go on their own persons. Children have the right for free lunch if they afford it, can afford it. The children have the right to honesty. I am so proud what school's children are doing now. I'm so proud of the new Jets coach. Even though myself is a diehard Patriots fan, I'm still proud of him. He's from Elizabeth. Now, this evening, my heart is broken. I'm broken because there's no dignity in Elizabeth. What you guys did in that closed meeting January 6th is a mockery of our laws in this country. My forefathers fought so hard for me to have the right to vote, and what you did was wrong. You put a black sign on Elizabeth, New Jersey. You thought you could get away with it. Your little mini meetings, you were caught, and you came back. That's not right. That's not the way of this land. I have forefathers. My forefathers were slaves. We couldn't read or write. My father couldn't go to college he wanted to because he was colored. And what you did at Pride Me, you put shame to Elizabeth. I myself is commissioner for the state. I work with Governor Christie. I'm ashamed that I could say I'm from Elizabeth. I used to hold my head up high. When I found this event, I brought my head low. But I cannot put myself categorized with you people who did that. It is wrong. You represent the children of Elizabeth. You put shame to the children of Elizabeth. How can I represent you, what you did on January 6th? It will not be forgotten. It's in history. You're laughed at because you're from Elizabeth and they think you're crooked. And you call yourself a lawyer? You don't know the law of this land? Whatever. Okay, you say you represent Elizabeth. You represent New Jersey. I'm Rutgers myself. You put shame to Rutgers. You put a Rutgers grad do something stupid like that? You put shame to Elizabeth. You put a black ball on Elizabeth. It's a black cloud going around Elizabeth. That's all I have to say. Everybody have a good evening, and let's raise our head high. What they did was wrong. They know they were wrong. We have to stop it. I am what I am. I keep my word. I represent who I am. My heart is broke. Okay? I'm ashamed of the Board of Education here in Elizabeth. You took away our dignity. I hope you can live with yourself. Okay? Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Next person is Maria Echeverria.
Hello? I got paperwork. Okay.
Good evening, Maria.
Good evening, Montero, and everybody else. Okay. I'm here on behalf of my daughter, Angela Echeverria. Okay? I'm going to give you a background of the whole, where it all started from for your new people. Okay? This started in the first grade. She stood back the first grade. She had an evaluation in the second grade. They said she passed it. I did an independent evaluation in the third grade, and it got lost in staff. Staff misplaced whatever. It never made it to its proper channels to child study team. Then I started from scratch again. And then she finally, and that was back in 2007, when we started IEP stuff. Her very first classification was 2012. 4 years wasted, at least. So now we are 2015. She's still not in a proper placement. She has academic levels from a 4th grader to an 8th grader, being in the 9th grade, and she's drowning in school. School being the pool, and all of yous are the lifeguards, and yous are letting my baby drown. I can't believe that this is happening. I can't believe this. And when I do meetings, okay, I bring administrative codes, okay? 18A:46-5.1. Another one. 18A:46-13. Okay? Oh, and that's from the Title 18. And then we got the administrative codes that, you bring the laws and everything, and, they act like you don't know what you're talking about. In 2012, I did have a book on ADLD. I was told that wasn't my daughter. Her very first evaluation, lethargic was in there. Attention deficit lethargic disorder. When I met the neurologist, the neuropsych that the school district hired, I had this book with me. I saw selective mutism in my daughter. This doctor tells me, don't do no more reading. The doctor told me this at the meeting. We're talking lots about dyslexia. I write it in paperwork writing to rule in, rule out dyslexia. He writes down 3 things she isn't, but the word dyslexia wasn't one of the 3 things. She's in a wrong placement. It's already in writing since June of last year to have her placed out.
Mrs. Echeverria, remember you have 3 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm just giving the run.
I understand. We have
This has
other
been
people
for
too.
7 years. I know now they got something for dyslexia. I saw it in November, whatever. But please understand, you are 7 years too late for mines. Okay? So we have a lot of work to do for mines. I got 2 years before she's 18 and she could boot me off. So please, and everybody knows. I'm sure everybody knows. Okay? And just, it's just crazy. But yes, please, somebody reach out to me, reach out to child study team people, get them to sign off perform care, because my daughter is just drowning. And she needs lots and lots of services. She needs a proper placement. It's FAPE, right? Free, appropriate public education. Okay? Please. And thank you. I guess that's it.
Thank you. The next person is Pia Carvajal.
Good evening. This is my first meeting from the year 2015. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I will remember this meeting though. I haven't been able to come. I have some family issues. My daughter was going through some tests. Thanks to the Board of Education, because the nurse point before the physical that something was wrong in her back, so we took care of it. We went to Beth Israel. So yes, the nurses do a good job at the school, all right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, if may I continue, please? I see some children here in the meeting. We say when grown-ups do argue, children are asleep. I want you to think about that. I was gonna bring my daughter, but I'm not gonna bring my daughter no more. I tell you this much. It's a shame. I was at City Hall last night. You know I was there. For an incident that I don't even want to go there, but they work it out. I had Mr. Carlos Torres at the school aide meeting with me. We're going to meet with other people involved. We're going to fix it, even if I have to go door by door and fix it, okay? I don't want to see people arguing the way it happened tonight. This is embarrassing. Speaking about employee, I tell you this much. I am a parent-teacher organization. My daughter is 13 years old. I work with 2,000 or 3,000 people in Batin, all right? I am a PTO in School A. I work with 300 families in there. People ask me if I am an employee. I say I am a volunteer. I don't even introduce myself as a PTO president. I am just a humble helper. If people will have to pay me, they wouldn't have the money. Yes, I speak English. Sorry if I have an accent. It doesn't really matter to me. All right? It doesn't matter. I stood here so many times when I cannot say the word, I'm going to spell it. Period. I'm just so disappointed to the point I'm shaking because this is so embarrassing. Shame on everybody. The children, I guess everybody should apologize to the children present here, to begin with. We need to take care of transportation, yes, but we have to thank the people that are transporting 50 kids per bus to 60. I've seen it every morning. These drivers are working with one assistant. I'm working crazy with those kids, like taking care of those kids.
Mrs. Moreira,
Yes.
you have 3 minutes.
Yes. So I just like to thank that, and thank every possible thing that Elizabeth did. I like to say, I do live in Elizabeth Board of Education. My mother was black. I don't know what color I am. My daughter calls me peach. Am I peach color? It doesn't matter? Does it really matter? It doesn't matter. We have to stop talking about nonsense. We are here for our children. All right? I want you to remember, I live in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I come from all the way to Peru, South America. My husband is from Colombia. My daughter says she's American, and indeed she is. She's been born in Livingston, New Jersey. We have to work for the children, and that's what I said last night. I live in Elizabeth, and my daughter goes to the public school, period. All right?
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Moreira. The next person is James Carey.
Good evening.
Good evening.
He wants to speak. You know, Tony, or I know you as Armenio. We played together in the sandbox when we were kids. When my late grandmother, Margaret Jackson, came over to the store to visit me. Mary never said, well, I'm gonna prohibit James from playing in the sandbox with Armenio because he's black. Never said that. But, it's sad, and I'm not saying that it's you, but it's a sad state of affairs that you have some Colombian people that are over here, they're divided, and you have some Colombian people that are over here, okay? And during the course of the election, some things were said about Mr. Malik Jackson that weren't true, that were unfounded, saying that he was anti-Latino, which was never said, but you guys ran with it. And Armenio, you know personally, Malik is not anti-Latino. I mean, if I may, Miss Sandra Torres, who's Colombian, is Malik anti-Latino? Carlos Torres, you're Puerto Rican. Is Malik anti-Latino? Yeah. Okay, but let me let you know the truth about Malik Jackson. He's been happily married to his high school sweetheart for 20 years. He's a proud father of 5 siblings, the oldest who plays for Temple University, and the other who's a star basketball player for Roosevelt Catholic, who hit the winning shot the other day, seen on News 12. Malik also won the long jump championship for Elizabeth High in 1988. He led Elizabeth High School to 2 consecutive state championships in 89 and 90 in both football and basketball. He earned an athletic scholarship to your alma mater, Rutgers University. He played professional football in Canada. He returned home to start a business called Training Today's Athletes, and their primary purpose is to train athletes in both sports and the classroom. He's never been convicted of a crime or felony. That's the Malik Jackson that should have been said. But none of that was said during the course of the election, and none of it was refuted. But I'm here to set the record straight about Malik. Now, the council president said something about race baiting. Now, one who's active in civil rights, Mr. Trillo, would perceive it as what you're doing is race baiting. For example, during the course of the election, these letters went out. This letter went out to the Portuguese community on behalf of Maria Carvalho, saying she didn't know Malik was allegedly locked up. Maria, did you send this out?
Absolutely not.
Thank
And
you.
Miss Amin was with me when I received that letter. Thank you.
This letter was sent to this was targeted to everybody in the black community with an old picture of mine. And I told you before, please use color paper because it's more appealing. Saying that I was telling everybody not to support Maria Carvalho, something I never do about it. So that's perceived as race baiting, okay? That's the true element of race. What you guys are doing, denouncing, trying to defame Malik and assassinate his character, saying he's anti-Latino, that's race baiting. And what you're doing in essence is dividing the city along racial boundaries. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop. And in closing, Miss Amin, okay? I'm not here to beat you up, lambaste you, okay? Because you know what you did. And you have to live with yourself if you have a conscience. I spoke to you at Mount Tema. When I said to you, I said, I gave you the salams in the Islamic way, and you told me, no, someone denounced it. And you and I had dialogue since then. You got to understand, people are upset, they feel deceived, and what the move that you made is, even though it's your prerogative, it's a Judas move. And you need to understand that. And see, when this stage event is over tonight, when these people go home, because it is staged, okay, I'll still be here. I've been here 19 years strong, and I'm going to continue being here. And I'm going to continue speaking out for things that are not right. If it's my colleagues who are on the board, and Armenia, you know, I'll speak out. So you got to understand the people's frustration. We welcome you in the black community. We took you under our wing. So understand the people's frustration. And Trujillo, you're not a bad guy. You and I have dialogue. We disagree on things. But this is considered race baiting. And it needs to stop, because what you guys are doing in essence is dividing the city along racial boundaries. And it needs to stop.
Thank you.
And for the record, James, I was bigger than you once when we were Rugrats little kids.
I just want to make a comment. One comment, and it's about Malik Jackson, and that a person that I know personally. He will never be anti-Latino at all. He's very close. He can talk to any person in the whole world. So, and the next person is Jeanette Gilbert.
Steve?
She's coming.
This one?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. My name is Jeanette Gilbert. I belong to the ELOC here in Elizabeth. And I just come with just a couple of concerns from my organization, okay? Thank you. Okay. Now, I do have children that go to school here in Elizabeth, grandchildren's too. Some of the concerns about the following topics I have here, and it's just 3. Now, I hope I'm not out of line, Madam President, okay? Thank you. Okay. The procedure that replaced Mr. Monteris with Mr. Ferraro, it does not seem to be legal to us, besides the fact that the voters had already spoken with respect to not electing Mr. Ferraro. Okay? 2, Jose Rodriguez was not allowed to vote in the internal election of president of the board because he is president of the teachers union in another school district. The only limitation that possesses places in this participation in Elizabeth School is at the time of negotiations, he must abstain from voting. This was not such a time. It had nothing to do with the negotiations. 3, finally, we have to thank you in the past for having your business sessions after the public response time. Persons who wish to speak still need to sign up at 6 p.m. for a meeting which begins at 7 p.m. or later. 15 minutes before beginning of the meeting is sufficient, where before the beginnings of the meeting, I'm sorry, I'm reading that again, forgive me, is your beginning of the meeting sufficient? Where is your concentration for the public? All students' entertainment is a wonderful display of our children's talent, but it should be on a different night. The school meeting should be simply to give to the public an opportunity to express their concerns and their business to the board. Thank you. Thank you. We expect to see you in February for the next meeting. Thank you very much.
Madam President, I just want to recognize Malik Jackson, who's here. I didn't know he was here. Please give Malik Jackson a big round of applause.
Okay. And the last speaker is Rafael Fajardo.
Madam President, there's someone in the audience who said they signed.
Okay, before I came to say what I came here to say, which was about education, I would just like to say this is my first board meeting. I was born in this country. I went to school in Elizabeth. I graduated from Elizabeth High School. I have never been so embarrassed to be a part of Elizabeth as I am today. What has gone on here has got nothing to do with the students of the city. You should all be embarrassed. Now, the real reason I'm here today. Let me calm myself down here. I am here tonight to represent the parents who are choosing not to have their children take the PARCC test. In essence, they are refusing the test. I received a letter from my daughter's school stating that the state law and regulations require all students to take the state assessment. While this statement may be true, it is also true that we, as parents, have the fundamental right to direct the education of our children. The Supreme Court of the United States has firmly given parental rights the highest respect and protection. They have made it clear that a parent has the right to instruct their children, takes precedence over the state's interest. They also stated that the right to educate our children is guaranteed in the Bill of Rights and applicable to the states, the First and 14th Amendments. In a particular case, Griswold versus Connecticut, they emphasize that the state cannot interfere with the right of a parent to control their education. For this reason, I ask that the Board of Ed come up with a plan of action for those of us who choose to refuse the test and to let parents know, as it is their right to be informed. That is, if they do refuse the test, what alternative setting will be in place. I ask that you establish alternative settings with educationally relevant activities for non-test-taking students. I support quality teachers and believe in their ability to assess the students over the results of a standardized test, such as the PARCC. Teachers should evaluate children's progress using alternative and more meaningful measures, including project-based assessments, teacher-made tests, and performance-based assessments. I am sure if you were to ask a teacher, they would agree. I oppose the damage that the Common Core and high-stakes testings are inflicting on our students, cultivating within them anxiety and fear of failure rather than igniting a passion for lifelong learning. Administrations at many schools report that they have spent as much as a third of the school year preparing students to take this test. The part test has already been proven to be ineffective. That is why half of the original states set to administer this test have pulled out. It is poorly designed and confusing. Answers to questions are made to be plausible. This makes it extraordinarily complex and confusing, especially for younger children. From my understanding, teachers and students cannot even see the test to find out what students got wrong or why, which makes it of no diagnostic or instructional value. None. Many parents are under the false impression that this test counts for a child's grade or that it is required for graduation to the next grade. That is also not true. The state of New Jersey has paid Pearson, the company administering the test and provides the schools with their textbook, $108 million. They also paid NJ Smart, which is a data collection agency and a subsidiary of Pearson, $95 million to collect that information about our children. The information is public record, and if you can go online to the State of New Jersey, Department of Treasury, Division of Purchases to view that information. This alone should have parents and taxpayers up in arms. We have schools in this district that are old and in need of repair, have no air conditioning, teachers have to buy their own supplies, yet there is this kind of money to pay for tests that have no value. Not to mention the money that this district has paid itself to prepare for the tests being totally online and upgrades for Wi-Fi. So, as this new board here is sworn in, I ask that you take a moment and reflect on those that have elected you, those that you have been required to serve. You have been elected to serve, you have not been elected to serve the extortionists in Washington or the bullies in Trenton or the profit-making corporations like Pearson or our Governor Christie, who's too interested in football games. It is the children of this district who you have been elected to serve. So, as the new year begins, I ask, how will you resolve to serve the children of this district?
Thank you.
Mr. Rafael Fajardo.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to say that the owner of the Colombian newspaper, who was sitting right there, heard all the comments that Mr. Trujillo alluded to, and I was sitting right there with Mr. Trujillo sitting, and I heard those comments also. I like to say that my record of serving the people, the children of the city, speaks for itself. I have to say that I don't work for City Hall. I am standing here in front of you. Those of you that have financed your campaigns are the ones that are millionaires. And all I have to add at this moment is, because I can go on, but I am going to observe the 3-minute rule. As a matter of fact, I'm going to speak for the next 10 seconds. Madam President, always, as I have told everybody that sat in that Board of Education, vote your conscience, and I congratulate you for voting your conscience.
Any old business? New business?
Madam President?
Need to go to private, close the public session?
Yes, okay, we are going to the President requests a motion to go into the private session to consider matters absent under the Open Public Meetings Act, specifically for discussion of GS and LR, and harassment, intimidation, and bullying results. The board will reconvene in public to take formal action.
Madam President?
Motion to adjourn?
Madam President?
Motion, second.
Second. The meeting is adjourned.
Do we need to vote?
Roll call, Mr. Kennedy.
Mathalis.
Madam President? We are going to private session.
Castillo.
I would like.
Yes.
I wanted
Paul,
to make,
please.
make
Excuse
a
me, are we
comment.
going to private session or are we adjourning the
Okay,
meeting?
we have to go private session. Okay.
Private.
What?
Montero.
We are-
Yes.
She did.
Naran.
Very difficult meeting.
Thank you to everybody
Yes.
who came and supported.
Carvalho.
2 and 5.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
I just want to thank again the
Rodriguez.
public for coming out.
Rodriguez.
And yes.
Yes, yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Thanks. Look at the names on it.
So would I keep this? Should I keep this?
How long until the private session? Where?
Atlas.
Yes, here.
Carvalho. Castillo.
Here.
Montero.
Here.
Naran.
Here.
Pereira.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
Trujillo.
Here.
Amin.
Here.
So we have the resolutions.
Would you like me to take you through the agenda?
Take me to the agenda.
First thing is acceptance of the HIB investigative results.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathalis.
Yes.
Carvalho. Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naran.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Before I vote, I just want to congratulate Mr. Vossler on your position and thank you. And I'm sure you will follow in Eunice's footsteps. So thank you. And yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
A resolution for administrative leave with pay effective 1/17/15 LR.
Accept the resolution.
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
I think I said with pay, that was without pay. Bathalis.
Yes.
Carvalho.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naran.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
A resolution for return to work effective January 22nd, 2015, GS.
Move. Second.
Moved by Mr. Trujillo, second by Mr. Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathalis.
Yes.
Carvalho. Castillo.
Yes.
Montero.
Yes.
Naran.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
I'm going to abstain.
That concludes the agenda. I think the superintendent has an item.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kennedy, can you repeat that?
Do you have a presentation to do now?
Yes, we do. I'd like to present Pete Vossler, who is going to share with us a report with regard to the state's anti-bullying Bill of Rights in relation to the grading system.
Good evening. First, I would like to publicly thank Ms. Hugelmeyer, the superintendent, as well as the board for your support. I look forward to working with you all together as we move forward, kind of warding out all this bullying, this epidemic of bullying that's been going on in our state and nation. So tonight, and I also would like to publicly thank Ms. Cosello for all her hard work over the 4 years of implementing the law, getting it off the ground for us when the law was established in January of 11. So I want to thank her for all her support as well. She presented in the fall of 14, as the state requires, when the school district, or the schools, the specific schools, do their school self-assessment or HIB grading. She presented to the Board of Ed what the results of those grades were. The board approved those results. Those results were inputted into the Department of Education site and sent to the state. The state then reviewed the results, affirmed the results, and on December 16th, they sent the results back to the schools, stating that all of our schools' grades were kept the same, the anti-bullying school assessment grades. Our district went from, I believe, a 45 total grade 2 school years ago to last year, the 13-14 year, went up to a 51.32. So that was a 14% improvement. So I was proud to report that. So going through the presentation, then once the state affirms the results, we are also, by law, required then at the next regular scheduled public meeting to represent those results that she presented in the fall. A rubric was developed by the state to aid the districts in assessing the school's efforts and improving their anti-bullying programs. The rubric is designed to be a growth model. So 2 years ago, it was brand new. So after the schools reported their results, we're looking towards year to year now, boosting those grades higher year over year, as we've done this past year. The rubric consists of 8 core elements and 26 indicators, and they're scored on a 0 to 3 point scale, 0 being have not met the requirements, partially met is 1, 2 would be met the requirements where we want to be, and 3 is exceeded the requirement. The specific elements, there's 8 of them, and the first one being programs, approaches, and initiatives, that the schools annually establish HIB programs, approaches, and initiatives, implement and document these programs, assess the programs, and the school's programs approaches are designed to create school-wide conditions to prevent and address HIB. All these different letters or indicators are then graded on a 0 to 3 scale per school. The second element is training, basically that all staff, contracted service providers, substitutes, everyone is trained on the Board of Ed HIB policy, and that this policy was also discussed with our students in accordance with the district process. The third element is other staff instruction and training programs, that the staff, each member completes 2 hours of instruction in suicide prevention. That also includes information on harassment, intimidation, and bullying, and it's done in a 5 professional development period. We did that in June of 2011, so the next time we will have to do it district-wide will be by the end of the year in 2016. Also, that our school's anti-bully specialists were given time during the schedule to participate in service training. To be the ABS, I actually met with all our ABS and alternates today, and we meet roughly 5, the law requires meeting twice a year, and we work on trying to meet at least 5 times a year with all the work that we have. Members of the school safety team are also provided with professional development. Every school is required to have a school safety team chaired by the ABS of the school, and the school safety team is to meet at least twice a year. We encourage them to meet at least 5, if not more times a year for each school. And the school leaders, principals, administrators have also received information on trainings for their school ethics, law, and governance. The fourth element, curriculum and instruction of HIB. The school provide ongoing age-appropriate instruction on preventing HIB in accordance with the core curriculum content standards, where our school social workers and counselors go into the classrooms to give age-appropriate instruction related to character education, social, emotional learning, as well as addressing harassment, intimidation, and bullying. And they're graded on, do they do that 0, 1, 2, 3. Also B, that every first week of October, every school year is the week of respect statewide, and every school to have specific activities planned per school, which they send over to us of what they do specifically for that week. And then they're graded as to the specifics of what they do. Element 5, HIB personnel, basics of that, the importance of that principal points an anti-bully specialist in each school. We also have anti-bully specialist alternates in each school. The ABS meets at least 2 times per year with the anti-bully coordinator, and as I said earlier, we meet at least 5 times per year. And the school safety team is required to meet by law at least 2 times per year, and we work on focusing them meeting as much as possible, roughly 5 times a year. The school level incident reporting procedure is element 6, that the school implements our district's procedure for reporting, and we have what's called HIPSTER, which is a very effective and efficient way to report incidents and to thoroughly investigate them and determine what interventions, actions, and consequences were completed for each case. And the school implemented the district's procedure for reporting new information. So if new information becomes available down the line after a case has been completed, we can always reopen that case and add that information to make sure that this issue stop moving forward. The 7th element, HIB investigation procedures. That the school follows the Board of Ed approved policy, which provides for notification to parents of alleged offenders and victims in each reported incident. The law requires that the principals, when an incident is initiated, the principal specifically contact the alleged victim's parents and alleged offender's parents to let them know an incident is ongoing or beginning and will be investigated. And through that, moving forward, the investigator, the anti-bully specialist, can also reach out to the parent as well as to make sure the incident is resolved. Completion of the investigation within 10 school days. The law requires that once the anti-bully specialist receives the incident, which the principal assigns to them, that they have 10 school days to complete the investigation and get it over to me in order to process and send it to the superintendent. And that preparation of the written report on the findings of each HIB investigation is documented in that HIPSTER system. And the results of the investigation are then reported to the superintendent within 2 school days of completion. So all of these different elements are graded from 0, 1, 2, or 3 per school. The last element, HIB reporting. The school has a procedure for ensuring that staff member reports include the required information for all incidents of violence, vandalism, and HIB, and that the district posts all these assessment scores on their website. We have posted all the scores for each individual school on each individual school website, the grades, as well as on our district homepage of the grades for all the schools, what they are. Again, the 0 to 1, 2, 3 is how they're scored. 0 is we're not meeting the requirements, 1 is we're partially, 2 is we are meeting, or 3 is exceeding. The highest possible score is a 78, which means we're perfect. Nobody is perfect. So we want to have at least a 50 as for our grade per school, which means we are meeting all the requirements. This year the schools range from 44 to 60, 60 being the highest score in the district and 44 the lowest score. Out of the 34 schools, 25 out of the 34 scored a 50 or higher. So that's another great improvement over the previous year. And the average across all the schools was a 51.32, which means on average throughout the district we are meeting our requirements of the expectation for our grades. Again, the process is we complete the assessment, led by the school safety team and the anti-bully specialist per school, completes the assessment, information is sent to the supervisor anti-bullying coordinator, and the information is input into the Department of Education website. The results are presented to the public, as Ms. Costello did in the fall, attaining approval from the board, which it was approved in the fall with Ms. Hugelmeyer's assurances, and then submitted to the Department of Ed for their approval, which they did approve every school grade without changing any as of December 16th. These are the specific schools and the scores that they received on the self-assessment. So I just peruse through them. From the high score of 60, these are all the schools that have met the requirements, 50 or above, and these are the scores. There's 9 schools that got below 50. So some highlights of our work to date. As we said earlier, we have the Week of Respect, which is the first week of October every school year. There's a Liberty Basketball Anti-Bullying Day where schools go to enjoy that day. A lot of different activities involved. There's ongoing district training for team members at the district as well as school level. There's a state training for anti-bully coordinators, which I will be attending next week, and there's 5 or 6 of them throughout the year. Big piece of is guest speakers at the school, getting as many speakers related to anti-bullying strategies for assemblies as possible, which is very important, and a lot of them are very effective in sending out a positive, proactive anti-bullying message and empowering our students to achieve. And as I explained earlier, the Hipster electronic reporting system is this is our second full year now of implementing that system to process and officially report cases thoroughly. So moving forward, what the goals are to continue to analyze the self-assessments by the schools. I'm looking into focusing on the 9 schools that have scored below the 50 and helping them, working with the administration, anti-bully specialists, counselors, and social workers to boost their grades to get them up to 50 and showing improvement as we move forward. That concludes the presentation for this evening, and if anybody has any questions.
Madam President, I have a question. Pete, I noticed when you showed the scores, several of the high schools are under 50. I believe I saw 4. I don't know if there was more, but I did see 4. Is there a reason why we're having trouble reaching above 50 at the high school level?
That's going to be my focus moving forward, is getting them to, and I have to analyze as to why that is, going through the specific indicators as to where they scored lower, and I'll work with them to boost that up. The administrators and the specialists. I don't know specifically to answer the question now. I'm not sure, but I will look into it.
I would ask the superintendent, if at all possible, that perhaps you come back maybe 3 months from now, and and see and give us more information. See if you have noticed a trend or something. If that's at all possible, that you come back to see that next year we work on getting over 50%. Especially at the high school level.
Sure. Absolutely.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Any other comments?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great
Thank
night.
Pete, do we need to take an action on this, or is just your presentation is adequate? Does the board need to take an action to accept this report as they did in the fall, or?
Okay.
So I make a motion to put the report on the agenda.
Moved by Commissioner Trujillo, second by Commissioner Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathalis.
Yes.
Carvella.
Yes.
Castillo.
Yes.
Montero. Yes. Neron.
Yes.
Pereira.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Welcome to the public hearing on harassment, intimidation, and bullying for the period starting July 1st, 2014 and ending December 31st, 2014. In July 2011, the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights was signed into law as Public Law 2010, Chapter 122. In accordance with this law, all New Jersey public school districts must designate the first full week of October of each year as the Week of Respect. During the Week of Respect, school districts are expected to organize activities, including but not limited to age-appropriate instruction and opportunities for student discussion on conflict resolution, issues of diversity, and tolerance. A resolution was put before the board in September declaring the week of October 6th through the 10th, 2014, Week of Respect. Each of the schools planned appropriate activities for this week. In fulfilling the reporting requirements pursuant to NJSA 18A 17 through 46, 2 times each year between September 1st and July 1st, and between July 1st and December 31st, the school board shall hold a public hearing at which the chief school administrator will report to the Board of Education and the public any acts of harassment, intimidation, and bullying which occurred during the reporting period. From July 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2014, there were 100 HIB investigations completed by appropriate school staff. Of those cases investigated, 32 were confirmed cases of HIB and were affirmed by board members through the December 2014 meeting. The following anti-bullying specialist alternates, and anti-bullying coordinator conducted these investigations: Ann Shapakow, Maria Brito, Jessica Safranco, Ali Abdul Malik, Carrie O'Connor, Maria Vindis, Peter Vossler, Lourdes Soto, Linda Fletcher, Colleen Reynolds, Christine Lillis Flaherty, Sarah LaFace, Nancy Nieves, Denise Sunaki, Sophia Verma, Teresa Guevara, Natalie Haken, Dana Gil-Marai, Darnella Bowles, Andrea Juca, Lauren Zarnecki, Cindy Lichtenstein, Amelia Joan Turner, Rosa Dulcedes, Elena Cusa Murray, Linda Lewis, Guadalupe Ferreiro, Margaret Lindergan, Natasha Morrissey, Antonio Sapio, Fabi Ramos, Lisa Baginski Matlos, Christine Rappa, Maria Cabrera, Jason Kolkol, Giselle Sansone, Joseph Sanchez, Linda Bean, Sam Bernstein, Megan Marks, and Eunice Casuelo. There were 6 incidents based on race, 0 incidents based on color, 0 incidents based on religion, 1 incident based on ancestry, 6 incidents based on national origin, 1 incident based on gender, 5 incidents based on sexual orientation, 0 incidents based on gender identity or expression, 4 incidents based on mental, physical, or sensory disability, and 27 incidents based on other targeted bases. 0 incidents involved a gesture, 0 incidents involved a written communication, 30 incidents were verbal, 12 incidents were physical, and 3 incidents involved an electronic communication. There were 14 out-of-school suspensions, 9 in-school detentions, and 20 as other disciplinary actions. Additional services such as in-house counseling, skill development, and behavioral intervention were offered to involved students. Between July 1st, 2014 and December 31st, 2014, the district provided appropriate HIB training to guidance counselors and social workers and to new staff and support staff in the district. Additionally, the district provided extensive and specified training to the anti-bullying coordinator and to all anti-bullying specialists and their alternates. Non-certificated staff also received training. New school-level administrators and new HIB staff received training in the HIPSTER reporting program, which was implemented this past school year. Is there anyone who would like to comment on tonight's report? Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Before we adjourn, you should ask if there's any old business. New business?
Madam President?
Yes.
Just really quickly, because I saw this yesterday. I'm just looking for it now. Actually, there was an editorial in the Star Ledger yesterday. Don't know if many of you saw it or not, but we don't get them often. And just really quickly, I'll just read it. Urban New Jersey school districts should follow Elizabeth's example. That was the headline. New Jersey's former Abbott school districts are known for high costs and low results. Some of the biggest districts like Newark and Jersey City have been controlled for a long time by state administrators. Many of those districts have also opened charter schools, which just adds to the expense, since it seems that none of the failing public schools are ever shut down. But if you drive through Elizabeth, each of the school buildings has a big banner proudly proclaiming that they are ranked New Jersey's #1 urban school district. The schools appear to be in good repair, and you get the impression that things are under control. It raises the question of what we can learn from New Jersey's highest achieving urban school district. It seems to me that the state administrators should be studying what Elizabeth Board of Education is doing right and try to implement those concepts in the other former Abbott districts. So that's just, again, a praise to all the wonderful administrators here, to our superintendent, to our assistant superintendents, and all the staff that, again, work day in and day out, from rank and file, security, custodians, food services. We just can't say enough, and we thank them. And every so often, when you see a little bit of that praise and that sunshine, we all know we're doing the right thing. So, once again, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion moved by, no, but somebody have to say.
I'll make the motion to adjourn. I'll second, President.
Okay, moved by Mr. Trujillo, second by Mr. Pereira. Any comments? Roll call, please.
Bathalis. Cavallo. Castillo. Montero.
Yes.
Neron.
Yes.
Pereira. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trujillo.
Yes.
Amin.
Yes.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
Madam
Mr.
President.
Thank you.
You actually do it before midnight. We actually finished the meeting
Thank you,
before
thank
midnight.
you.
Congratulations.